Greece is sold to the world as a summer dream. White cubes tumbling toward a perfect blue sea, a table in the sun, time standing still. The reality of living here is nothing like that photograph. It is more demanding, more complex, and infinitely more beautiful than any holiday can reveal. To live in Greece is to live inside history, not beside it, and to negotiate every day between timeless beauty and very modern pressure. For the more than 10 million people who call this country home, life is not a vacation. It is a morning commute through the dense, humming avenues of central Athens, a fishing boat pushing off before dawn from the harbor in Kalamata, a teacher unlocking a stone schoolhouse in a village above Ioannina. There is no single Greek experience. The country fractures into 1,000 different realities. A life lived in the apartment blocks of central Thessaloniki has almost nothing in common with a life lived in a whitewashed house on the cliffs of Santorini, or in a stone village in the Pindus Mountains, or in the low, fertile plains around Larissa and Volos. This is a land of profound contrasts, intense light and deep shadow, effortless hospitality and exhausting bureaucracy, a culture that measures time in centuries, and a daily life that must deal with rising rents and late buses. The sea is always present, even when you cannot see it. The mountains are always present, even in the heart of the city. They shape how people move, what they eat, how they speak, and what they believe is possible. From the bustling port of Piraeus to the quiet harbors of Symi and Castellorizo, from the university city of Patras to the remote settlements of the Mani Peninsula and the high pastures of Crete near Enogia, every place offers a different answer to what it means to be Greek. In this film, we will go beyond the postcard. We will explore the full spectrum of Greek life, its light and its weight, its ancient rhythms and its modern struggles, from island to mainland, from metropolis to mountain. If you want to understand what life is truly like behind the world's most photographed landscapes, please subscribe to Tour Guide and join us for every journey. Greece occupies the southern tip of the Balkan Peninsula, a country defined by how broken and how maritime its geography truly is. More than 200 inhabited islands are scattered across the Ionian and Aegean Seas, while the mainland itself is dominated by mountains. The Pindus Range forms the spine of the country. It runs from the high borderlands of Epirus and western Macedonia, south through central Greece and deep into the Peloponnese. In villages around Zagori, Metsovo, and Karpanisi, life is built from heavy stone, with slate roofs designed to shed snow and streets that can be cut off for days in winter. East of the mountains, the land opens dramatically. The vast plain of Thessaly, centered on Larissa, Trikala, and Karditsa, and the plains of central Macedonia around Syros, Kilkis, and Thessaloniki are wide, fertile, and intensely cultivated. Here, summers are brutally hot, and winters bring thick fog and frost. The coastline is one of the longest in the world. With nearly 14,000 kilometers of coast, no location in Greece is more than 130 kilometers from the sea. That proximity defines climate, diet, and identity, whether in the port of Volos, the beaches of Halkidiki, or the fishing villages of the Pelion Peninsula. The climate is described as Mediterranean, but that label hides enormous variation. In Athens, the Cyclades islands like Paros, Naxos, and Milos, and the Dodecanese around Rhodes and Kos, summers are long, dry and scorching, cooled only briefly by the Meltemi, the strong northern wind of the Aegean. On Crete, the contrast is even sharper. The north coast around Chania and Heraklion is milder and more developed, while the south-facing Libya, near Ierapetra and Sfakia, feels arid and almost North African. In the far north, around Florina, Castoria, and Xanthi, winters are continental, with lakes that freeze and heavy snowfalls. The west tells another story. The Ionian islands of Corfu, Lefkada, and Kefalonia, and the coastal mountains of Epirus around Preveza and Igoumenitsa receive far more rain. They are lush and green, with dense forests that feel distant from the white and blue stereotype. This beauty carries constant risk. Summer wildfires now threaten forests and suburbs around Athens, Evia, Rhodes, and Ilia every year. Earthquakes are a lived reality along the fault lines of the Ionian islands, Kalamata, and Thessaly. And on the smallest islands like Anafi or Halki, water scarcity shapes every decision about building and farming. Daily life in Greece follows a rhythm shaped by light, heat, and community. The day begins early, often before the sun becomes punishing. In Athens and Thessaloniki, mornings are fast and crowded. By 7, buses, trolley lines, and the metro are full. Small bakeries sell koulouri, tiropita, and bougatsa to commuters rushing toward offices and schools. In Patras and Heraklion, the same urban pulse repeats on a smaller scale, with traffic narrowing into historic centers. In smaller towns like Nafplio, Rethymno, Kavala, and Hermoupoli on Syros, the morning is quieter. People walk rather than drive. The local cafeneo fills early with older residents drinking Greek coffee, discussing politics and football, and watching the town wake up. Shops and offices typically open around 8 or 9. Public services start early and close early. Schools finish by early afternoon, which shapes family life and forces parents to coordinate carefully, especially in larger cities where distance matters. Midday brings a deliberate pause. While the old custom of full afternoon closure has faded in central Athens and Thessaloniki, its logic remains. Between 2 and 5, activity slows sharply. In places like Chania, Volos, and on almost every island from Skiathos to Naxos, many shops still lower their shutters. Families gather then for the main meal of the day. It is not a rushed break, but the central social moment, often followed by a brief rest. Even those who continue working use the quiet to step away from the heat and noise. Evenings are when the country truly opens. As the light softens, public life moves outdoors. In the platias of Ioannina, Kalamata, and Larissa, and along the waterfronts of Mykonos, Parga, and Chania, children play late, couples walk, and friends meet. The evening volta, the unhurried stroll, is still a ritual in towns from Corfu to Alexandroupoli. Coffee can last 2 hours without hurry. Dinner rarely begins before 9, and in summer it stretches past midnight. Time here is not only about efficiency, it is about presence. For newcomers, that can feel frustrating when appointments shift and replies are slow. For those who adapt, it becomes the most humane part of living here. Home in Greece is less a building than a network of people. Family remains the core social unit, and that shapes where and how people live. In the major cities, most residents live in apartments. Athens is a city of polykatoikias, concrete apartment blocks built rapidly between the 1960s and 80s. Neighborhoods like Kypseli, Pangrati, Exarchia, and Nea Smyrni in Athens, and Tumba, Kalamaria, and Ampelokipi in Thessaloniki are dense, vertical communities where balconies serve as outdoor living rooms. These balconies matter. They are filled with potted lemons and geraniums, with laundry and small tables where meals are eaten outside for 8 months of the year. Sound travels easily between floors, and neighbors know each other's routines intimately. Outside the cities, architecture responds directly to place. In Zagori and Pelion, houses are built from local stone with thick walls and slate roofs to endure mountain winters. On Santorini, Milos, and Folegandros, cave houses are carved into volcanic rock, cool by design. In Crete, around Enogia, Sphakia, and the Lassithi Plateau, homes are simpler and lower, built for practicality and endurance. Family proximity is the norm, not the exception. Young adults commonly live with their parents well into their late 20s or early 30s. Economic pressure plays a role, but so does deep cultural expectation and mutual support. Grandparents are daily participants in family life. They provide childcare, transmit language and recipes, and anchor gatherings. In rural areas like Messenia, Epirus, and the villages of Lesvos and Chios, it is still common to find 3 generations living in the same house or in neighboring houses, sharing olive groves and responsibilities. Sundays remain almost ritual. Tables extend, food multiplies, and the gathering expands to include godparents, cousins, and neighbors who have become kin. Names, properties, and obligations pass through these ties. This closeness offers immense resilience during hardship, but it also brings pressure. Personal decisions about marriage, children, and career are rarely entirely private, and respect for elders remains a powerful social code. Food in Greece is memory made daily. It is identity, hospitality, and seasonal knowledge rather than performance. The foundation is the Mediterranean diet of olive oil, vegetables, legumes, grains, and fresh cheese. Yet its expression changes completely from region to region. In Crete, around Heraklion, Chania, and Scythia, the diet is celebrated for its simplicity: wild greens, stamnagati, Dakos rusks, and Graviera and Mizithra cheeses. In the Cyclades, on islands like Naxos, Paros, and Sifnos, the cuisine reflects aridity and the sea. Capers, sun-dried tomatoes, fava, and small, intensely flavored cheeses like Manura show what a dry landscape can produce when treated with care. The north tells a richer story. In Thessaloniki, Florina, and Komotini, the influence of Pontic, Asia Minor, and Balkan histories is clear in pies, spiced meats, and rich baked dishes. Bugatsa for breakfast, kavurmas in winter, and thick stews speak to colder climates and layered migrations. The Peloponnese offers another palate. Kalamata is synonymous with olives and oil. The Argolid around Nafplio and Argos is fragrant with oranges in spring. And the mountains of Arcadia provide honey, walnuts, and game. Daily shopping is still often local. The weekly Lyki Agora, the farmers' market, remains central in neighborhoods from Athens to Xanthi and Volos. Fishermen sell directly on the quay in places like Piraeus, Kavala, and Leros. In villages on Epirus slopes and on Lesvos, families still press their own oil, make wine, and gather horta from the hillsides. Meals are communal by design. A taverna order is not individual plates, but many small dishes shared in the center. Bread is always present. Salad is seasonal, and fish, when it appears, is often grilled whole, with nothing more than lemon and oil. Culture here is not confined to museums, though those in Athens, Delphi, Thessaloniki, and Heraklion are extraordinary. It lives at the table through philoxenia, the love of strangers, where a guest in a home in Corfu or in a mountain house above Trikala is fed before any question is asked. Work in Greece is shaped by sea, land, and service, and it has been tested as severely as any economy in Europe over the last 15 years. Tourism is the most visible engine. It dominates the islands from Santorini and Mykonos to Rhodes, Corfu, Crete, and Halkidiki, and it sustains much of Athens, Nafplio, and the coast of the Peloponnese. For hundreds of thousands of workers, employment is seasonal. Summers mean 12-hour days, 7 days a week in hotels, restaurants, ferries, and transport, with earnings that must carry families through the quiet winter months in places like Zakynthos, Kos, and Skiathos. Shipping is the great less visible pillar. Centered in Piraeus, one of the largest ports in the Mediterranean, and with deep roots in islands like Chios, Andros, and Syros, Greece controls a substantial share of the world merchant fleet. It offers highly skilled, well-paid work as officers, engineers, and managers, but it is concentrated and not accessible to all. Agriculture remains essential, especially outside the cities. Thessaly produces grain, cotton, and legumes. Western Peloponnese and Lesvos produce olive oil at scale. Crete produces olive oil, avocados, and greenhouse vegetables. Naxos is famed for potatoes and Graviera cheese. The vineyards of Nemea, Naousa, Santorini, and Drama produce wines that now compete internationally. In the urban centers, employment is concentrated in services, education, healthcare, retail, and public administration. Athens as capital and Thessaloniki as the northern hub concentrate universities, ministries, and headquarters. Regional capitals like Patras, Heraklion, Ioannina, Larissa, and Alexandroupoli provide stability and anchor their wider regions. The challenges are structural and personal. The financial crisis that began in 2009 compressed wages, pensions, and investment for a decade. While unemployment has fallen from its peak, pay remains low compared to Northern Europe, and youth unemployment remains among the highest in the European Union. Bureaucracy discourages initiative. Starting a small shop in Volos, renovating a guest house on Sifnos, or licensing a fishing boat in Kavala can require repeated visits, stamped documents, and long waits. The result has been significant emigration of educated young people to Germany, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and Cyprus. Yet there are signs of return. Remote work has allowed some to move back to villages in Crete, the Mani, or Epirus. Small producers are reaching export markets with honey, herbs, and oil, and renewable energy projects are bringing new work to windy islands and mountain ridges. Social life in Greece is dense, warm, and lived largely in public. Community is not an idea, but a daily practice. The Orthodox Church provides the calendar for much of that community life. Easter is the most important celebration of the year, more significant than Christmas. In Corfu, with its famous Good Saturday pot throwing, on Patmos, in villages across Crete, and in cities like Thessaloniki and Patras, Holy Week is observed with solemn processions and then with explosive joy on Easter night, when the holy light is shared. Every island and village honors its patron saint with a panegyri, a religious festival that is also a collective homecoming. On Tinos and Paros for the Assumption in August, on Ikaria, where celebrations famously last until dawn, on Karpathos and in Metsovo, music, dance, and long tables of food bring generations together. These are not performances for visitors, but acts of belonging. Name days often matter more than birthdays, because most given names derive from saints. Your Iorti is a day of open doors. In homes from Athens to Castoria, and in island houses on Naxos and Kalymnos, friends and relatives arrive without formal invitation to offer wishes and to share sweets and coffee. The platea, the central square, functions as the communal living room. Whether in the stone squares of Arcadia and Zagori, or in urban neighborhoods like Petrolona, Kifisia, and Anopoli in Thessaloniki, people meet to talk, to watch children, and to be seen. Cafes and kafenea are extensions of that square. The distinction matters. The traditional kafeneo, still central in places like Ioannina, Rethymno, and mountain villages above Kalamata, is slower and conversational. The modern cafe bar of Athens, Volos, and Heraklion is louder and more youthful, but the function is the same. Music and dance remain living practices. In Crete, the lyra and lauto are not historical artifacts, but the sound of weddings and baptisms. In the Cyclades, island folk traditions keep circle dances alive, where elders and children hold hands together. In Thrace and Macedonia, brass bands and Pontic lyra keep distinct traditions audible. This closeness creates a powerful safety net. It also means private life is rarely entirely private. Reputation matters, neighbors notice, and individual choices are weighed against family and community expectations. To describe life in Greece honestly is to acknowledge the difficulties that sit alongside its beauty. They are not hidden, and they shape daily decisions in concrete ways. The economic aftermath remains tangible. Although the acute phase of the crisis is past, many households in Athens, Thessaloniki, Patras, and mid-sized cities like Larissa and Volos manage on incomes and pensions that lost a quarter of their value and have only partially recovered. Rents in central Athens and Thessaloniki have risen sharply, and property prices on islands like Mykonos, Paros, and Santorini have been driven up by foreign investment and short-term rentals. For young professionals, the calculation is difficult. Salaries for teachers, nurses, engineers, and designers often range far below those in Germany or the Netherlands, while the cost of food, fuel, and housing feels increasingly European. Many choose to stay near family and accept less pay, while others leave and send support home. Bureaucracy remains a daily friction. Simple tasks can require multiple offices, physical stamps, and repeated visits. Dealing with property records in Kalamata, health administration in Ioannina, or licensing for a small cafe in Chania or Rhodes can consume weeks. For those accustomed to digital systems, the adjustment is real. Geography creates structural challenges. Island life is beautiful and isolating in equal measure. On smaller islands like Anafi, Kassos, Halki, or Castellarizo, winter ferry connections are infrequent. Specialist medical care requires travel to Syros, Rhodes, or Athens, and delays due to wind can leave shelves temporarily empty. In the mountain villages of Epirus, central Greece, and the Pindus, populations have aged, and schools and clinics have closed. Environmental pressures are intensifying. Wildfires have affected Evia, the Peloponnese around Ilia and Mani, and the forests north of Athens with growing frequency. Water scarcity forces strict management on cycladic islands like Mykonos and Naxos every summer. Earthquakes, a reality from Cephalonia and Zakynthos to Crete and Thessaly, demand constant building standards and preparedness. Tourism itself has become a challenge in the most visited places. In Santorini, Mykonos, and central Corfu and Chania, the sheer volume of seasonal visitors strains water, waste, and transport systems, drives up housing costs, and can make daily life for permanent residents feel like living inside a destination rather than a town. Greece today lives between two clocks. One keeps time by seasons, harvests, and feast days. The other keeps time by broadband, low-cost flights, and European deadlines. In Athens and Thessaloniki, life is fully contemporary. Young professionals work in technology, shipping services, design, and education. Co-working spaces fill in neighborhoods like Gazi, Metaxorgeo, and Ladodika. They order online, travel with hand luggage to Berlin or London, and follow global culture closely. The metro slides past ancient walls without comment. Universities in Patras, Ioannina, Heraklion, Volos, and Komotini produce graduates who are as digitally connected as any in Europe. Startups in Athens and Thessaloniki are building products for export, while remote workers have settled on Syros, Naxos, and even smaller islands, supported by improved internet that finally reaches places long cut off. Yet even in these cities, tradition remains immediate. The same developer who codes by day may return to a village in Messenia for the olive harvest in November, or travel to Tinos for the Assumption in August without question. Family obligations around Easter, baptisms, and memorials are not negotiable for most. In rural areas, the balance shifts, but does not disappear. On Crete, a shepherd in the White Mountains, or on the Siluritis Massif, may use a smartphone to monitor weather and sell cheese through social media, while still following transhumance routes that are thousands of years old. On Syros and in the Zagori villages, potters, weavers, and woodcarvers maintain crafts that are not folklore reenactments, but viable businesses adapted to modern markets. The generational contrast is visible. Older residents in villages across Epirus, the Mani Peninsula, and the small Dodecanese islands like Leros and Lipsi often live more self-sufficiently, growing vegetables, preserving food, and maintaining a frugality learned through harder decades. Younger Greeks often want more mobility, privacy, and professional opportunity, while still valuing the safety net and identity that family and place provide. High-speed internet has helped bridge the gap, allowing work from places like Stupa or Amorgos, but it has also highlighted other gaps as rural schools struggle to retain teachers and clinics remain understaffed. What emerges is not a country choosing one past or one future. It is a country negotiating both at once, holding on to continuity while reaching for change. After all the contrasts and all the difficulties, the question remains: why do people stay in Greece? And why do those who leave so often find their way back? The answer is not reducible to economics, because if it were, many more would have gone and not returned. It is about something less measurable and more enduring that is felt daily from the center of Athens to the edge of the Aegean. People stay for the light. That sounds abstract until you live here. The clarity of the Aegean light on the Cyclades, the long golden evenings on the waterfronts of Thessaloniki and Volos, the way the sun defines the stone of the Peloponnese, and the mountains of Arcadia and Pindus changes how life feels. It pulls life outdoors for most of the year and eases the weight of winter. They stay for connection. In a world that can feel increasingly isolated, Greek community offers a deep, lived sense of belonging. Whether in the tight apartment blocks of Pangrati and Kypseli, the villages of Crete around Anogia and Vamos, or the harbors of the Ionian Islands like Lefkada, Corfu, and Kefalonia, people are known. They are needed. They are part of a story that extends beyond themselves and beyond the present season. They stay for a particular kind of freedom. Despite pressures, daily life protects time that elsewhere has been surrendered. A coffee is not rushed. A conversation with a neighbor is not an interruption. Time for family, for celebration, for grief, and for rest is still defended in ways that feel increasingly rare. They stay for resilience itself. Greeks have endured occupation, civil war, earthquake, and economic collapse within living memory. Places from Kalamata rebuilt after the earthquake of 1986 to villages in Epirus and Western Macedonia resettled after upheaval carry a pride in endurance and in philotimo, the quiet commitment to doing what is right because it is right. They stay for beauty that is not staged. A morning swim off the coast of Preveza, an evening walk through the olive groves of Messenia, a festival night on Ikaria or Tinos, a plain winter meal in a village above Ioannina shared without ceremony. These moments accumulate into a life that feels rooted. Greece does not promise an easy life. It promises a meaningful one, anchored in place, in history, and in human bonds that have survived for centuries and continue to evolve. If this journey helped you see Greece beyond the postcard, please subscribe to Tour Guide for more immersive stories from every corner of the world.